This is Mike Corey from ESPN, and you're listening to the Sports Objective Podcast, the unofficial podcast of the Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode. From the sidelines down to the post, put it down like not even close. All out to the last whistle blow. For the flag with the soul and crossbones. Everybody stand up, get your hands.
Welcome into the Sports Objective, the podcast for the Pirates. Very glad to have you on right now. It's a Sunday evening as we're recording this live, and with us right now, Bubba Rosenbaum. What's up, man?
Not a whole lot, Dave. Looking forward to talking some Pirate football. Had fun this afternoon with Riley and a couple of his cousins. Went to my first NBA game in a long time. Back in the day, went to probably 15 or 20 Charlotte Hornets games before they became the New Orleans Hornets. But never went to a Bobcats game, even though I lived within an hour. And now finally making it back to a Hornets game, I wanted to get Riley and his cousins, like I said, that experience. And we saw the Hornets get a 124-108 victory over the Washington Wizards this afternoon.
I couldn't be there. It's one of those things, a work thing. With us right now, obviously playing for the Pirates, linebacker under Coach Logan, former linebacker for the Pirates, Matt Semenza. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm doing great. I'm actually right now. I am in the lovely state of Massachusetts. It's flurrying. It's snow flurrying, but in the middle of the night, I'm getting on a plane and going down to Orlando for vacation for a week. So I can't wait to get the hell out of here.
Well, you just have to rub it in, right? Rub it in like the snow goes. Bubba Rosenbaum, very excited to have one of the newest Pirates. Obviously, I covered spring football yesterday, but very happy to have with us a new wide receiver to that wide receiver room.
Yeah, no doubt, Dave. One of the points of emphasis in this recruiting class for Mike Houston and staff was to add at least one, if not a couple or few wide receivers and playmakers to that room. You're losing Tyler Sneed. You lose Audio Matosho, who had around 40 receptions, give or take, last year. You lose C.J. Johnson, who certainly has playmaking ability. And I say lose C.J. His status is still up in the air. Hopefully we have not lost C.J., but that will be determined by C.J. checking all the boxes that he needs to get checked over the coming weeks. But hopefully that will be the case, and that will be one more playmaker we have in that room. But right now, very excited to be joined by Toledo transfer Isaiah Winstead. Isaiah, welcome into the show.
How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all having me.
No doubt, Isaiah, thanks so much for coming on tonight. We obviously wanted to have you on, being a new Pirate. Tell us about that whole process. I know you were in Toledo, and now you're coming to Greenville, to the Pirates. How did all that transpire?
Originally, I started out of high school. I went to Norfolk State for 2 years. I transferred. So how I got to Toledo was I was being heavily recruited by UCLA. They came down to Richmond and watched me work out or whatever, and they was impressed. And they had one more scholarship left for a transfer, and so they a quarterback from Washington had decommitted, and they had chose the quarterback. They needed a quarterback more, and somebody from Toledo was at UCLA, and they told the coaching staff about me, and that's how I ended up there. I did the COVID season there. I did in my junior year there, and then I had entered the portal, and then I ended up at ECU for my last year.
Isaiah, you hear it, all the time in recruiting, how important relationships are. Whether it's, a coach knowing another coach, or a coach knowing a player, and that's certainly the case in your situation. You talk about playing at Norfolk State for a couple of seasons. Latrell Scott, East Carolina's passing game coordinator and inside wide receivers coach, was your head coach there at Norfolk State before you moved on to Toledo. So talk about your relationship with Coach Scott and how important that was in you choosing East Carolina.
Me and Coach Scott, we real close. You know, like when I came on my official visit, we went to his house that night and hung out with his family. I know his son, I know his wife, so that was cool. Like we real close, and it was good knowing him, like connection wise, like when I entered the portal, because like soon as I entered the portal, like he was on me, like saying he need me, he want me to be at ECU and all that stuff. So that was an option, like off rip, like first day in the portal, to have. So it was good to have that connection with him, because he know what I bring to the table. Like he coached me when I was young though, but he know.
Yeah, and no doubt, relationships are so very important, and that sense of familiarity, and you know what you're going to get. And obviously put a lot of stock in what Coach Scott says about everything we have going on with the East Carolina program. And in addition to that, I know it had to be an excellent selling point for Coach Houston and staff to talk about catching balls from a guy like Holton Ahlers, who's going to be starting now for a fifth season. He started part of the year, his freshman year, way back in 2018, and because of COVID, has a chance to be a starting quarterback for a fifth season, which is a rarity for sure. But talk about having the chance to play with a tremendous signal caller like Holton Ahlers.
I actually can't wait. Like, it just seemed like the perfect fit. He want me there. I want to be there. And like ever since I was in the portal, he like, I gotta have you and all that stuff. So like, I just can't wait. He called like with the offense, whatever he see out there, he like he like he called his own. He basically called his own offense. Like whatever he see, he can check the play and just put you in the best matchup to make a play. So I can't wait to play with him.
Isaiah, this is Kyle Barber. I'm just now joining the podcast. I'm part of the team, along with Matt Simmons, a former ECU linebacker, who also just joined the broadcast. Glad to have you in Greenville and at East Carolina. Your skills are desperately needed as graduation and guys joining. Trying to go in the draft kind of affected our wide receiver depth. Obviously, you transfer in here, you put up good numbers at Toledo. You expect to contribute right away with 1 year of eligibility left. How important was it for you to choose a school that you knew that you would be able to come right in and be a key contributor?
I mean, it was very important, but I feel like, wherever I went, I was like, I can go ball. But, it's all up to the coaching at the end of the day. You got to go with somebody you can trust, because they could tell you one thing and then bring you down there and it'd be something different. So, I could trust Coach Scott, and from the looks of the staff, when I came on my official visit, I feel like, they gave me the vibes that they genuine and I could trust them as well. So,
Isaiah, I wanted to ask, as far as when it comes to East Carolina, you obviously played, like you said, with Coach Scott the first 2 years in Norfolk State. How familiar are you with the Pirates? Obviously, one of our nicknames is wide receiver U. A lot of great wide receivers over the years. Was that a factor in addition to reconnecting with Coach Scott?
I'm not too familiar with it. I mean, I didn't like, the top receivers like Zay Jones and Justin Hardy. Like I knew about that, but that definitely played a factor though. Like that when you go to ECU, like as a receiver, you probably successful. So like that definitely played a factor. Before I was ready to commit, Zay Jones had called me on FaceTime and we had talked about some stuff too. So, that was cool.
Isaiah, you played at Toledo, and the Rockets have some tradition in football. The MAC is a good league. Obviously, non-conference is non-conference. You're going to face so-called Power 5 opponents at both schools, East Carolina and Toledo. What do you see on film, or how much have you watched? How much of a difference do you think there is from the Americans versus the MAC?
I really, I haven't watched film yet. I haven't been on campus or nothing. Well, I mean, besides my visits and stuff like that, I haven't. I don't have no login to the film, but I don't feel like it's too much different. If people can ball everywhere, so like I don't know. I just I'm ready. Like I'm ready. I'm not too much worried about what other people do and all that stuff. I'm just gonna be prepared myself and be ready when the time comes.
Now, Isaiah, during that time at Toledo, you'd had a very productive 2 years at Norfolk State where you had, a little over 80 receptions. And unfortunately, one of those years at Toledo was really impacted by COVID, where you played a 6-game schedule, as we were discussing off the air. So you only got half the games that you would have gotten otherwise, and you probably would have had a bowl game there as well as Toledo typically plays within that league, and winning 8, 9, 10 ball games or more. But you had the chance to play at Notre Dame. Talk about that experience, and making the jump from Norfolk State to Toledo. And just how that went.
It was cool. Like I always felt like I could play at a higher level anyway. Like that was kind of one of the reasons I had transferred from Norfolk State to get more exposure and play at a higher level. So, like when I went to Notre Dame, it was like it was a dream come true, really. Like, that's what you see on TV, and I finally got to play a big school like that. But like at the end of the day, like, I'm confident. I put in the work, so I feel like I'm meant to be there. Like I fit. So like it wasn't too much of a big thing. Besides the fact that I've seen it on TV, like I ain't let that affect my play or nothing. The moment wasn't too big for me.
Now, Isaiah, let's talk about you as a receiver. You're 6'3", 215 pounds. At least that's what you were listed at last season for Toledo. Is that where you currently are weight wise? 215?
2 time.
210. Okay. Pirate fans, and this is just, the little bit of film I have seen on Isaiah. And Isaiah, I certainly don't expect you to necessarily know who this guy is, but a guy named Trayvon Brown finished up his Pirate career back in the final year of the Scotty Montgomery era, back in 2018, I guess it was. But either 2017 or 2018, but nonetheless, Trayvon Brown, 6'2", 210, 215 pounds, and you remind me a lot of Trayvon. I'm trying to make a comparison there that I think Pirate fans will be able to relate to.
Yep. I think that's
Just with your size, and like Matt had mentioned, I think this is probably what he's about to chime in with, ability to make plays down the field in the vertical passing game.
yeah, Bubba. I think that's a great comparison. Isaiah, one of the things when you kind of analyze your stats, one of the stats that really jumped out at me was how effective you are on deep balls, passes 20 yards down the field or more. You're very efficient in that category. You graded out over a 90, on Pro Football Focus. So that's a great stat. It shows your ability to get downfield and make big plays. But you were also efficient, in the short and intermediate routes as well. So, hopefully that's something that you're able to bring to Greenville. Your ability to make big plays, and what is it about your game that allows you to get that kind of separation down the field?
I'll say my releases, like my lateral quickness and my route running. Like I'm not no 4'3". Like I'm not the fastest person, but like I can create separation with my route running. Like that's like I said, like I was in another podcast and I was like, I take pride in that, like, because me being so big and not no 4'3" guy, like you gotta be good in other areas, like to make up for that. So my lateral quickness, my releases off the line, I could be like I'm versatile. I could play small, I could play big, I could play slot, I can do all that. So that's how I feel like I can get separation,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're also a very effective blocker on the perimeter. Isaiah, just out of curiosity, at Toledo, do you run a lot of perimeter, like wide receiver screens, tunnel screens? Is that a big part of the offense there?
I mean, from these past couple of years when I was there, it wasn't. We went over it in practice a few, but I didn't get too many of those.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that blocking is definitely needed on the perimeter. So, you know, we're just very excited to have you here.
Definitely.
Isaiah, have you set any personal goals? Obviously the biggest goal is to help the team achieve success on the field, but have you set personal goals yet for this coming up season?
Yeah. Win the championship. Of course, like help the team, but win the championship. 1,200 yards, 12 plus touchdowns.
Well, if you achieve those goals, we'll all be pretty happy. Particularly that whole championship thing, that'd be fantastic.
I feel like I will.
Isaiah, I hope you get 12 touchdowns the first game against our arch rival NC State. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, how about that for a first play? Little play action to Keaton Mitchell and Isaiah Winstead over the top toward the boneyard with 50,000 Pirates going nuts.
It sounds good. I can't wait.
Hey,
Speaking of, I was going to ask this a follow-up real quick, guys. Isaiah, are you aware of the in-state rivals like an NC State? I know you played at Norfolk State. Are you aware of the rivalry with NC State, the very first game, Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, yes, sir. They told me about it. They definitely told me about it. They was telling me about how how it's gonna be packed. It's gonna be sold out. Like they already sold. I think they sold 15,000 already for the first game.
That's the goal. Is to get 15,000 season tickets sold. We're around 12,000 at this point, but
yeah,
you can rest assured that NC State game, if it ain't sold out 50,000, it won't be far. It's always packed, and that's our biggest rival, non-conference. I know when you were at Toledo, is Toledo's biggest rival Bowling Green? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got to experience that rivalry. No disrespect to the Toledo Bowling Green rivalry; it's important because it's a conference game. But these Carolina NC State rivalry, I guarantee you'll be a little bit more intense.
I believe it.
With the COVID, Isaiah, with the COVID years and all that stuff, it's been really tough to get all the people in, and the program was down for a few seasons, and finally Coach Houston and staff has things turned around to have a game like NC State Labor Day weekend, the first game of the year, home game. And then Isaiah, as far as history is concerned, not too many times we've had 4 straight games in a row, home games. There's 7 home games this year. 4 of them are the first 4 games in September.
Yeah, that definitely caught my eye at the beginning, like just to have home field advantage, 4 games straight, be able to gain momentum for the season, and start the season off right. That definitely caught my attention.
Isaiah, I wanted to ask you, and I apologize, guys, I have kind of a rough connection here, but Isaiah, I wanted to ask you, I think the guys on this call, we're all very biased. We love East Carolina. I always say East Carolina University is the best kept secret on the East Coast. And just kind of curious your thoughts and your impression when you came on your recruiting visit. Is it what you expected? Were you more impressed than you thought you'd be by when you saw the stadium and got a chance to see the town and just get a feel for it?
Yeah, it was definitely more than what I thought it was going to be. I really didn't know about ECU that much. Like, all I really knew was how they went from the ACC to the AAC. So I didn't really know much of the history behind it. But when I came here, it was when I went there, it was live. It's people walking around, just like a live town. And then the facilities, the stadium, all that was nice. The weight room was crazy. So it definitely was more than what I thought. And then of course the coaching, everybody just was genuine, just seemed like they put like a lot of effort into having me there. So
Better weather in Greenville than Toledo, Ohio. That's for sure. You won't be as cold. What's some stuff? What's some stuff people might find interesting about you personally? What are some of your interests and hobbies?
I mean, I play the game a little bit, but for real, all I do is just work on my craft. That's it. I got a dream. I'm trying to chase that.
Do you play any
That's the
video
main
games
thing. Sometimes
like Madden and NBA 2K?
Madden, and I play Mortal Kombat. I don't really play 2K.
Well, yeah, one of the biggest games, not to get too sidetracked, is WWE 2K, the new one that's out right now. A lot of people going wild on that, so I didn't know. We just got that game, my kids and I, last week, so we got to dive into that. But
Now, Isaiah, you talk about chasing your dream. Obviously, after winning a championship, we hope, and with the Pirates, talk about who are some of your favorite wide receivers at that next level. And clearly, Donnie Kirkpatrick, East Carolina's offensive coordinator during his time as a receivers coach under Ruffin McNeil, helped develop Justin Hardy, also Zay Jones, and Dwayne Harris. I mean, he's put several guys into the professional ranks, and hopefully you'll be the next one.
Yes, sir. I mean, I really watch a lot of receivers. I can't really say like I have like a favorite, but I watch Keenan Allen. I watch Devontae Adams. Like I watch Justin Jefferson. That's who I feel like I can like move like, and for me to be this big, I feel like that's something that stands out. Like, cause usually people who my size can't really move like that. So like, I take stuff from their game like that. Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson and receivers like that. Keenan Allen.
I'd say with you being from Richmond, obviously was one of the decisions to come back where you could play close to home. You played at Norfolk State, like we talked about the first 2 years before you transferred eventually to Toledo. I assume as we have some folks here, including Craig, one of our regular listeners and viewers, pointed out that a lot of your family could come down from Richmond to Greenville, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure, are they happy to have you back closer to home?
Yes, sir. Like out of all the top three that I chose, I had chose ODU and Virginia Tech. All of those was like, ODU was even closer, but that was a big thing too as well. Like for my peoples to come see me for my last season, when I was at Toledo, my pops, he only came to one game, the first game. He couldn't make it to any other because it was 10 hours away, so it was hard to get there. So that's a big thing. He'll definitely be at every home game for sure.
You mentioned Old Dominion. ODU is second game of the year, and you mentioned you had an opportunity to transfer there. So that's one you definitely want to win. You don't want to lose to a team you turn down. So you gonna have to ball out big against the Monarchs.
Most definitely, they go see.
Something else, Isaiah, talk about the process. You just outlined your final three that you narrowed it down to, but you'd also heard from some schools within the American, right? Like Houston and Memphis.
No. So when I was in the portal and I posted the video saying that I'm transferring and stuff like that, one of my friends had mentioned a Memphis coach that he's close with or whatever. He know that he had mentioned him under my video, and Memphis, like, they never hit me up. Like I was saying in the other podcast, like I want to play them because he ain't hit me up. Like I want to show him like what's up. And then Houston, like I had hit up the receiver. This was before I even entered the transfer portal. This probably was like maybe like a couple weeks after the bowl game. I hit up Houston coach just to see like if he would be interested, and he had never hit me back. So like that's another game I want to play just so he could see like you should hit me back.
Absolutely. That was a game last year that I'm sure you may be aware of now. Several close calls. In that game, after a lengthy weather delay due to lightning in the Houston area, we lost in overtime that night against the Cougs.
Yeah, Holden told me I went and watched all of those games myself anyway though, like the highlights and of course the coaches had told me about all that too, but not this year though.
It sounds like
Isaiah, you mentioned a bowl game, and that makes me think about it seems to be a new thing in the last few years. Players sitting out bowl games when they're about to go enter the draft. What are your thoughts on that? If East Carolina, well, let me rephrase it. When East Carolina makes a bowl game this year, is that something you plan to participate in, or are you guys that thinks you might be looking ahead to the draft at that point, or is it just going to be a decision when that time comes?
I'll be there. I'll be playing. You don't get too many opportunities, so like I'll definitely be there. I don't
He
feel
is
like
a pirate, guys. He is a pirate. That's the right attitude right there. He's a pirate.
You're
definitely.
definitely going to be a fan favorite for sure, Isaiah, because as you probably know, it really hurt for these players that work so hard. Guys like Bruce Bivens of the world that have played so many years and had really lean years, and for them to make a bowl game and for Boston College to pull out like they did there in the Military Bowl, very tough. But it was good to see yesterday the rings that Coach Houston, they actually had a ring ceremony there at the spring game. Very cool to honor those guys because they were so deserving of a bowl game, the opportunity to win a bowl game, and to have it like 24 hours before was just a really bad situation. So glad they could do that. And now to have the Pirates to come back, have the spring ball, have you guys come in like you are, I think it's going to be a really good year. And we're certainly happy that you're a Pirate. Do you have any thing else? What about, do you have something what you're majoring in?
I majored. I was first in psychology, but I switched that because it was a lot with football and getting extra work. I'm not somebody who just go to practice and that's it. I got to get extra work throughout the day. So and with psychology, you got to really be locked in all the way with that. So I had switched to general studies. Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to having you, and certainly very excited to have you for a Pirate. And before we let you go, obviously,
I had another question for Isaiah really fast, Dave, before you wrap it up. Isaiah, what was your favorite moment at Toledo so far? What was your favorite game, your favorite win?
My favorite moment at Toledo, I think all my 100+ yard games we had lost. But my favorite moment probably was Notre Dame. Just the experience, just never been able to play in front of a crowd like that. I was at Norfolk State. You ain't really played schools like that. The biggest school we played around that time was JMU. So, and then, my the COVID year, we played all conference games and they ain't have fans during that time. So Notre Dame was just like the biggest game, like crowd wise, and it was just a good atmosphere. And that's it felt like real college football. So besides my personal stats, in games that I had 100+ and stuff like that, I would feel like that was the best game.
And I know Toledo doesn't even really draw that well, despite having a lot of tradition in football. The home crowds ain't that great, so that'll be something you'll enjoy in Greenville. People come out, people get loud. It ain't Notre Dame, but it ain't Toledo either. You'll enjoy the atmosphere here.
No
Most
doubt.
definitely.
Isaiah, do you have one final thought you could tell Pirate Nation as we're trying to increase those season tickets? 1-800-DIAL-ECU. People can go there, or they can go on the internet, ecpirates.com. Do you have anything you want to tell Pirate Nation before we go?
And just look for number 11 and number 12, man. We're going to give y'all a reason to come. That's all.
All right. That sounds good. Isaiah, we're so excited. Thank you for choosing to be a Pirate and to wear the purple and gold. We look forward to meeting you in this, obviously, for fall camp, and have safe travels. We can't wait to see you this fall on Dowdy Fickle. It's going to be great.
Appreciate it. I can't wait to get there.
Have a great night. Appreciate you coming on and being flexible with us tonight.
It's good to have him, and now if CJ can, keep on doing the right things and get back in the good graces with the coaching staff and the team, and then the kid from Georgia, his name escapes me right now, and some of our other young receivers, it looked at one point.
Johnson.
Yes, Johnson. Yeah, so it looked at one point like receiver could be a detriment. But we can get CJ back, and now with Winstead, he's a proven commodity coming in. Huh?
I was going to say Josiah Hatfield.
Hatfield, right? We could be pretty good at receiver. Does anybody know the latest on the kid from Duke? There's a kid from Duke that's in the transfer portal that had seen some playing time over the last few years that had us on his short list. Does anybody know the latest with that?
I know of him, but I haven't heard.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either, Kyle. Certainly know the young man you're talking about, although his name escapes me. But you had him, and then you also had a guy from Texas A&M. But according to Stephen Igo at Hoist the Colors with 24/7 Sports, Igo was saying that the Duke option, obviously with the connection we have there with Raekwon Boyette, having been their offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach a year ago, that the Duke option certainly seemed like the more likely option.
Yeah, and if you have a chance to add quality depth at receiver, you do it. And whether CJ's coming back or not, to me, you add all these pieces, and that's more pressure on CJ to do the little things right. And I'm rooting for CJ. I hate seeing on Hoist the Colors and something Boneyard Banner, so many people being so negative on CJ. Look, the answer, which you should be saying, is I hope CJ gets back on the team and he has a great year and gets some maturity issues taken care of and does well. These people that want to be super negative towards him, the kid didn't kill anybody. He ain't rob anybody. He just does stupid things. He's not people compared him to Jonathan Williams. Well, no, Jonathan Williams was a troublemaker and a thug. CJ is just immature and, got some growing up to do. So I hope CJ makes it back on the team and has a banner year this coming season.
No question about it. If you're a real Pirate fan, then you need to pull hard for
Peanut Butter Hero.
Yeah, we might have gotten deeper at wide receiver, to be honest, with the transfer. I believe one of the wide receivers next year will be going to the league or at least a camp. So thanks to Peanut Butter Hero. You love it. One of the best names in the history of the Sports Objective for sure.
Yeah.
But no doubt about it.
Exactly. You nailed it, Peanut Butter. They hate on CJ now, but they weren't when he was catching balls. Exactly. No, you're 100% right.
No question.
Guys, when you look at that, if we were able to get CJ back, and then you look at Winstead, two guys with obviously two big body wide receivers. You look at Calhoun, you look at Ryan Jones, you look at Savage. We have now 5 guys or so that are big body wide receivers. Some of the tight ends, they actually play more like a detached hybrid type tight end, like Ryan Jones. I really see him as a hybrid type. So, you have plenty of big bodies to go around. And where I really like that is the ability to block on the perimeter. It's wide receiver blocking is such an underrated area of the game. And, you saw some of our great receivers through the years. Justin Hardy, great blocker.
Harris was one of the best blockers I ever saw.
No doubt, Kyle. He was a great blocker. And it also, when you can block like that on the perimeter, it allows you to do more things, open up your playbook, in the screen game and do some different things. So, I'm like you, Kyle. I do hope that we get CJ back and he can kind of clean up some of these, maturity issues and just it's just another weapon at your disposal, that you can have.
I'd like to see some more screens. I'd love to see some more screens with Keaton Mitchell with good blocking. I mean, you could do some things with Keaton, like we did Chris Johnson the year he led the nation. Did he lead the nation in all-purpose yards in 2007? If he didn't, it was pretty close.
I'm pretty sure you're right on that. And that bowl game that he had against Boise State out in Hawaii, set the bowl game mark for all-purpose yards with I'm trying to remember 300 and whatever.
It was a lot, way up there. And I was going to say, Kyle, I personally think you're spot on about CJ. Not to beat a dead horse, but certainly, I think what's going to happen. I think you'll see once fall camp rolls around, unless he does absolutely nothing. But if I think the coaches are going to put him through the ringer this summer, and in other words, they're not going to let him back on there easily. I mean, Matt, I'm sure you have stories about that, guys that were in the bad graces with the coaches. They get kicked off the team, and they, have to jump through all the hoops, so to speak. But I don't think that they're going to make him go through the ringer. And I would just, unless all things go wrong, I see him back on the team. I really do.
Yeah, Dave, it's funny you mentioned that. It's so different now for these kids. Everything they do becomes public now. The world has gotten so much smaller with social media. There's virtually no room for error. Back in the day, and I was no saint at East Carolina, but I behaved myself pretty well. But you could get away with a little more back then. There was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was no internet. I mean, that's how old we are. So, it's just these kids now, they're under the microscope. There's so much scrutiny, and if you make a mistake, you're going to get exposed, and that's just, I guess that's just the way the world is.
Richard Allsbrook chimes in, guys, on Facebook saying great slot receiver play by number 19 Josh Murphy in the spring game. Great point, Richard. Another guy we have not talked about in that receiver room. Kyle may have mentioned him, but I don't think we did. Tajee Hudson, the former quarterback. Tajee Hudson. I don't remember his numbers from yesterday, but I know Mike Houston specifically mentioned Tajee in his post-game remarks after the spring game. And I remember seeing a highlight on the highlights put out by ECUPirates.com on the ECU Athletics YouTube channel, rather, showing Tajee. I think maybe it was a slant route or a skinny post that he caught down near the goal line, and made a nice catch and a little run after the catch. So we have some tremendous, talent, size, speed at receiver now. We just need those guys, a lot of whom have a lot of inexperience to just grow up quickly. But we definitely don't have any shortage of talent. It's just unproven. And then you obviously look at what you have with tight end with Shane Calhoun, Ryan Jones, that duo that Matt and I talked about the other day on our tight end and running backs preview. They combined for 55 catches a season ago, the most production out of East Carolina tight end since way back in 2015 when Bryce Williams. So you think about it, if you had the two of them on the field and, Josiah Hatfield, Isaiah Winstead, etc. I mean, and then you have Keaton or Rajay in the game at running back. I mean, no shortage of playmakers.
And guys, by the way, another guy that we've been talking about, and I know you did it on the running backs show, Pop McKay had a great day yesterday. He's a very good blocker, as Coach Houston was asked about in the post game there for the spring game. Pop McKay is somebody, guys. I don't know about you, but you see certain guys, and first of all, his name caught my eye, and then the kind of back he is, and the fact that I think he's a guy that you could see some more playing time. And it's also good because when you have the combination of Harris and Mitchell, you don't want them hurt. So especially some of these games where if we have a little bit of a lead, put Pop McKay in there to definitely run at some clock and get him some more experience. I really liked his play yesterday. He's come a long way.
And Dave, Donnie Kirkpatrick loved his play as well, in his post-game remarks, which you can find on our YouTube channel, as well as the comments of Coach Houston, Blake Harrell, and then also Jair Wilson and Rajay Harris. DK specifically talked about that, and the things that Pop McKay brings to the table is just a matter of getting Pop to believe he's as good as he is in terms of him being a bigger back and can do the things that, quote, big backs do as opposed to a scat back.
No question about it. He's got a lot of talent. There's a lot of ceiling for him. And it just comes down to me, Matt, I was going to ask you, my friend, when it comes to a guy like Pop McKay, I think it's, always one of my favorite sayings, experience breeds confidence. So for me personally, with a guy like Pop McKay that has a lot of talent, he hasn't had maybe the reps that he would like or we would like to see. We can't have 10 running backs, I know, but he's a guy that I believe that can be a great contribution this year.
Yeah, I think there is room enough to go around for 3 running backs. I think they'll find some packages to utilize him and make sure he gets on the field. And definitely the talent is there. In terms of the experience, there's no substitute for game day and being in front of the crowd and making things happen on game day. So he's going to need that experience, but the talent is there. And I do think there's room enough for 3 running backs. And, God forbid somebody goes down, all of a sudden he's going to be thrust into a role where he's a backup who's going to be getting, 10 plus touches a game. So he needs to be ready to go.
And by the way, guys, I know we're doing the show obviously about Isaiah Winstead coming in from Toledo, but man, Mason Garcia, especially in the second half, looked really good. I was really happy to see his play. And one of the questions, guys, Donnie Kirkpatrick said 4 years. My understanding is that, help me out, Bubba, you're the math guy and the numbers guy, but I thought that Mason, if he did not play, and I asked Stephen Igo from here, and he agreed with me, it should be 3 years if Mason doesn't play beyond the 4 games.
Well, Mason came in, prior to that 2020 season, and obviously that year did not count for anyone. And then last year, Mason, I think he played in 5 games. You can play in 4 and not lose your redshirt year. So last year is burnt. So now he's down to he's down to 3 years, like you're saying. But he has that redshirt year, so that's where that's coming in, Dave. So he has 4 to play 3 essentially. So
okay.
Does that make sense?
Why in the world did we play him in 5 games last year?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That was in my opinion, that was a mistake because he never.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you get, it's valuable. Don't get me wrong, but he was not. It's not like he was forced to play in a game because Holton went down, like you're saying, Kyle. I think that was the case, I believe. Or no, I take that back. I thought it was going to be the case out at Houston. Remember, Holton took a nasty hit, and then it looked like I was like, well, Mason's going to be in for at least a series now, and then Holton was back out there. So yeah, that was, in my opinion, a mistake to use that year a season ago. But this year, it'd be nice to be able to get him some time, but not go beyond 4 games. So he'll still have 3 remaining. But yeah, we really need to get him some time because I'd hate for him to not see much action this year and get his first significant action outside of that, Navy game that he started because of Holton's COVID situation, starting up at the Big House against Michigan next season.
Wow, we need to get a road trip for that. Semenza, are you in for that, for a road trip for Michigan in 23? Richard Allisburg chiming in. I agree. Number 33, Brock Spalding got some good reps at wide receiver. I agreed, Richard. He's another one. Spalding, his name was called out. I heard a few times yesterday, so no doubt about it. Definitely. And one thing else to know, guys, people.
And yes, 100%, Dave.
All right. So I've got at least one. I know that Rosenbaum's will be there. Hopefully Kyle will be there with us too.
If I can be there, Dave, I'll most definitely be making the road trip up to Michigan.
No doubt.
I can go ahead and confirm I won't be there. Okay. And Dave will say he's going to be there and then not go.
No, I have to work for a living.
Dave does that all the time.
So sometimes when your job tells you can't go, then you just can't go. So
Hey, you tell them to suck it and go anyway.
okay.
Kyle, there are over 100,000, 105, 110,000 Michigan fans that are dying, for a firsthand experience tailgating with Kyle from LaGrange.
Of course they are.
We got to get you up there and get folks cultured.
Well, they had all the culture they needed when App State went up. Are you kidding? People from Michigan ain't got no damn culture. Biggest bunch of Midwestern redneck morons. Have you ever seen Kid Rock, Eminem, and ICP? Are you kidding me?
Well, here we go.
I mean, that's class. ICP, Kid Rock, and Eminem. That's Michigan right there for you, baby. That's Michigan.
Yeah, I was just kidding, but
Wow.
yeah. After those comments, please do not go with us because I don't want to get hit in the head with a battery.
I mean, I ain't this scared of Michigan. We're gonna go up there and we're gonna bitch slap the Wolverines. We're gonna beat the crap out of old khaki pants. We're gonna kick him around, and they're gonna think the day they lost to Appalachian State was the worst day ever. They'll never schedule another school from North Carolina. We're gonna go up there and we're gonna beat the crap out of the Michigan Wolverines with a brand new quarterback in 2023, whatever year it's gonna be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the year.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Oh my God.
I like to see my dad, waving his hat the way he does and saying, "How about that little teacher's college from down east?"
I want to hear some jungle calls from Gary Rosenbaum. That's some awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. Let's see. Peanut Butter Hero says he'll be there. Thank God it's early the season, so it'll be cold. Amen. Peanut Butter. Amen. Peanut Butter Hero on that one. It'll be Labor Day weekend for 2023.
Now, is Peanut Butter hero? Is he a hero to Peanut Butter? Is Peanut Butter his hero, or is he making a sub sandwich known as a hero out of peanut butter?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's too late at night to, at least for me to do that. But enjoy the spring game. We look forward to a great thing. And by the way, fans, get your tickets 1-800-DIAL-ECU. You can go online right now, anytime. ecpirates.com. Let's shatter that record. 15,000 is way too low. Let's make it 18, 19, 20,000. Yes, I'm greedy, but
No, our goal is 15,000, Dave. That's our goal. 15,000. Well, we'd like to see it at 15,000. Come on, Pirate Nation. Can our administration have some gumption? Let's not shoot for 15. Let's not shoot for 15,000. Our goal should be to lead the state in season ticket sales. We should be beating the drum right now that we want to beat North Carolina State, Duke, Wake Forest, and Appalachian and Charlotte at season ticket sales. 18,000, 19,000, 20,000. The goal shouldn't be 15,000. If you shoot for the moon, you might hit the stars. Let's have the goal to lead the state in season ticket sales.
no doubt about it. A lot of great games on the schedule too. And that first one,
that's a great schedule. You got North Carolina State, Old Dominion with a regional rivalry there. You got the Campbell Fighting Camels, which will have some local interest. You got Memphis, UCF, Navy, Houston. All those are great conference games. And this is going to be your last chance, most likely, at least for the foreseeable future, to see Houston and UCF in Dowdy-Ficklin. They're going on to the Big 12.
no doubt about it. We can win a lot of games this year in Dowdy-Ficklin. And 1-800-DAL ECU, ecpirates.com.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Matt had a bad connection. By the way, he's going to be off this week. He's on vacation. So be safe in Orlando, Matt. Don't get any kind of trouble. Kyle from LaGrange is not going to come to get you and bail you out. Bubba probably would, and I would, but I don't think Kyle will. Go down to Orlando. You've never been to Florida, have you?
Believe it or not, no, I have not. I've never had a reason to go. Not a Mickey guy. I have no desire to go to Orlando. One of these days, I do want to go down to St. Augustine. I want to go to St. Augustine.
It's beautiful.
And I don't know why I haven't, but one of these, maybe this summer, me and Jessica will go to St. Augustine.
Yeah, I've been to St. Augustine's, I guess, 3 or 4 times at least, and like Dave said, it's beautiful.
Yep. This place interests me. I love history. So
Richard's asking any updates on the indoor practice facility. We're hearing there is money pledged Bubba,
No, let's keep it top secret, Dave. Don't say anything. Keep it top secret. That's how you get stuff done. You keep it top secret and you don't tell anybody about it. That's how you get stuff done. That's always when you want to get something accomplished. Keep it top secret. Say stuff to only a few people about it. Let there be rumors about it online. Don't make public announcement and grandiose plans and get people excited and fired up and go after corporate sponsorships. Just keep it top secret. Hush, hush. Only tell a few rich donors about it. That's how you get stuff done.
Yeah, we have so many rich donors out there, right? So,
yep.
And we're not anti the rich donors, so let me make that very clear. But
no, I like them. If they want to give me some money, that'll be great.
No doubt. But yes, there are plans in the works. We'll say that, and I'm sure there'll be a from the helm here pretty soon. Hopefully,
there was one the other day.
But hopefully, we can have something. The indoor practice facility is the elephant in the room. It's the most important thing that we have for ECU athletics. We should have had this announced 3 years ago. And we keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. There's no sense.
I don't know. Maybe we're waiting for a certain amount to be pledged before we make a formal announcement. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I wish I did.
We got to look. We can't live in fear. We have plenty of people that are out there, small donors and big donors, that if you say we're going to do this, including it's something people want. This isn't like some pet project that nobody wants except for a few people. Everybody wants it. So put it out there that everybody wants it. So there are people like us that are they're watching this show, the $100 donors all the way to the $1,000 donors. That's where your bread and butter is. There's a lot of people that take a shower after work that are power fans. Those people want to feel a part of it. So that's the problem we have right now is there's a disconnect with the $100 to $1,000 donors. And it's unfortunate. We're not going to waste time on it, but let's get on it. Let's get on it and get it out there. Have a sense of urgency. Intention is missing. And I'll leave it at that, Bubba Rosenbaum.
Yeah, I have heard that, some folks I'm not sure, any number or anything like that, but I have seen and, heard from folks who have called the Pirate Club trying to make a donation specifically for the indoor practice facility and, weren't able to do so at this point in time. So
well, that's genius. That's just completely genius.
Hopefully when that's happening, whoever they're speaking with is showing their appreciation and say, hey, look, and so the people that are eager to give the money are just as eager, if not more eager, to do so when the plans are unveiled here in the next few weeks.
Bubba, so what you're meaning to tell me, what you're saying to me, what I'm hearing coming out of your mouth, the words that you're saying, coming across broadcast and transition live all throughout the world, anybody can click and listen. Do we have pirates calling the Pirate Club saying, hey, can I give you money to the indoor practice facility? And they're saying, not at this present time. Are we a bunch of buffoons? Are we buffoons? I mean, what are we doing? If somebody, look, oh my God.
Bubba, you got him going, Bubba. You got him going. This is WWE promo style.
I mean, based on the sources, I do think that's accurate information. I don't see why somebody would make that up. But
here's the thing.
That is mind-bogglingly stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, you say yes, we will take that money and we will put it over here and whatever. I'm sure we have accounts that we hold money in, and once that project becomes public, we will apply that money towards the project. No, we can't take your money right now. You call back later. Call back later and try to give us your money. Good God.
We have so much. Here's the thing. One hand, we're hearing how we don't have any money, but on the other hand, people are turning them away. We should never be. We're in Pirate Nation at East Carolina University. We should never be turning.
Hey, Bubba, did anybody ever contact that person back about the other issue that they never got contacted back about for about a week or two?
As far as the purchasing of season tickets and joining the Pirate Club, purchasing a parking pass, no return phone call was made, and that's been, that was 2 weeks at least before the priority deadline, and the priority deadline came and went. You know,
So
and,
you mean to tell
and
me is we have
no
people?
return phone call had been made.
So you have people contacting you listening out there, Ryan Robinson, John Gilbert. So you got people contacting the Pirate Club to buy season tickets, make a sizable donation, and purchase a parking pass if they want to speak with somebody personally, not just do it with anybody. Because I guess they wanted some comments to be made, et cetera, et cetera. And so, and then nobody ever calls them back. They leave a message, and nobody ever calls them back. So, if anything, it's just piss poor communication on somebody's end. So I don't know what's going on. Somebody needs to get their crap together.
Well, here's the deal: if you're taking money from ECU,
they're not taking. Oh, okay, go ahead.
No. If you're taking money and you're part of the Pirate Club, and we love everybody at the Pirate Club, but the thing is that we got to see results. And right now, the indoor practice facility, we understand you can't build it in a short period of time, and obviously, we don't have. Unfortunately, Vince McMahon won't write a $20 million check or whatever it will be for the practice facility. All this stuff takes time, but guess what? The more that we're screwing around, and you're getting paid to screw around, then guess what? That's more that we're behind. There was a great article, guys, last year. I think I mentioned this once before, and then we'll go.
You know what we should do? See, we'll be creative, baby. Vince won't do it. Let's contact Tony Khan. How you tell Tony Khan right now? Say, Tony Khan man. Look, how about at East Carolina University? We have the Tony Khan AEW practice facility. That'll stick it to Vince. You want to stick it to Vince? I'd be on the phone with Tony Khan tomorrow, or at least try to get on the phone with him.
Hell, anything. I mean, call Titan Sports with Vince McMahon and tell him that you have Tony Khan that wants to make.
Yeah, if you ain't going to do it, Vince, Tony Khan's going to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know how that goes. They put the millionaires in the room and they say, "So,
hey, Tony, we know Tony Khan loves football."
Yeah, he sure does. His dad owns the Jaguars.
Jaguars, right? Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, we know that. And Zay Jones, he's got the ECU connection there, playing for the Jaguars this year. By the way,
Gerard.
Yeah, exactly. Two sad things that we want to mention, and I almost got out of here for it. Mark Wharton, I saw a former Pirate, and obviously we think a lot of him, and he was someone. I know he's with the Mocs, Chattanooga, right? His twin brother died yesterday. Very sad situation. I don't know what happened. He put a post on Facebook. And Mark, we just want to say from all of us here at the Sports Objective, very sad for you and your family. We're rooting for you and your mom and your whole family. We want to say that. And then football news with Dwayne Haskins getting killed yesterday. That was very sad. Of course, a former Redskin. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers now, and died yesterday morning. A dump truck hit him down in Florida. So very sad situation there. So not a good weekend for football fans, and certainly with the Whartons, we want to say hello to you, and we're thinking about you guys.
Yeah, and personal note, my wife's aunt passed away this past week. Her funeral was yesterday. So if anybody out in Pirate Nation will keep my wife's family in your thoughts and prayers, would be appreciated.
There was something Bubba posted up here, and yeah, but let me ask you guys a question. And I know we're running tight on time, and we got to get out of here. We got work tomorrow. But there's somebody that's one of my heroes. Unfortunately, I never got to meet. He passed away before I even really was a Pirate. But if Leo Jenkins was a chancellor right now, how fast do you think we would have an indoor practice facility?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I do think that there would be a more vocal campaign.
Right.
If Terry Holland was still AD, I think you'd see a more vocal campaign.
Yep.
I don't. It seems like we hate on Gilbert a lot, and it's not like with Jeff Compher. With Jeff Compher, look, there was a vile hate because he was a terrible person.
Different.
Gilbert is more just It's just, John, would you just do a few damn things? It's just you just want to grab him and shake him. I mean, it's not a hatred. You just want to go wake up. That kind of thing, and we're so close to where we want to be in football, at least. It's not going to take much for us to turn the corner and get there, but we need some fire. people not calling people back at the Pirate Club. There not being a public campaign yet from the indoor practice facility, stating our season ticket goal, we'd like to be at 15,000. No, man, we need a set number, 16, 17, 18,000, and we need to be pushing for it.
If
Not, well, we need to be at 15,000. I mean, that's, 18K, that's what we're pushing for right here. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it is the administration, until they tell me differently, they're scared to fail. If you're scared to fail, you're going to fail. And so for me personally, I would much rather say, for here you say, sincerely, 18,000, 20,000. That's what we're shooting for, Dave. And we need your help, Pirate Nation. Call right now. I'd rather hear that and fail than to say 15,000, which is such a soft number. We can get 15,000. And yes, we've been through a difficult time. We understand. The same thing with the practice facility. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants this. It's not a controversial issue. And guess what? The only way that we're going to get it is to wait for it, raise money. So guess what? We need every single Pirate. You know what? I may only be able to give $500 or $1,000 to the whole campaign. But guess what? That's going to be my contribution in that range. And guess what? I feel a part of it. That's what everybody, Kyle, everybody wants to feel a part of it. Let's say Kyle can give, $10,000. I don't know. I'm not going to put him down, but if he can only give $10,000, $500, $1, whatever, every Pirate should feel like
somewhere between $1 and 10,000.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate you nailing that down for us. No, but I didn't want to insult you, because all my point is that it doesn't matter if it's Kyle from LaGrange, myself, Bubba, whoever in Pirate Nation. We just want to be a part of the indoor practice facility. And that's how you get people riled up. That's how you get checks. And we don't have enough millionaires out there to keep calling those millionaires and just focusing on them.
No, and we're aging out, Dave. And I know we need to wrap this up. We're going long, but we are aging out. That's another problem that we need to have a whole discussion on about the Pirate Club. ECU fans, because we've been so bad the last several years of football up until last year, we haven't done a good job of we're the damn young people, and God Almighty, we're all old. We're all in our 40s now. We got to do a better job getting younger.
Exactly. Because those people are aging out. We're losing the Walter Williams of the world. We're losing the people, a lot of great donors out there for sure. All right. Want to thank Matt Semenza. We want to thank Isaiah Winstead. Glad to have him part of the wide receiver room. And folks, again, order your season tickets, 1-800-DIAL-ECU, or you can simply go anytime to ecpirates.com. Thank you, Kyle, my friend. We'll be thinking about you and your family, and Jessica. Again, thanks to Bubba Rosenbaum for producing and being a part of the show, and Matt Semenza. Until next time, you've been watching and listening to the Sports Objective. Good night, everybody, and go Pirates.